Ron Burke from Gaming Trend here with Cloe Hammoud, World Content Manager for Division 2, Warlords of New York. If you would, go ahead and introduce yourself and kind of tell us a little bit about the world that you're creating for this expansion.
Yeah, as you said, I'm Chloe. I'm a World Content Manager working at Massive Entertainment, which is the lead studio. We've been working with Codev Studio as well, Ubisoft Reflections, Leamington and Annecy in France. And these past few months we've been working on the expansion of the Division 2. We've created a brand new map, brand new open world filled with activities, different main missions, different side missions as well. And the overall theme of this expansion is the manhunt. We are closing the narrative arc and you have to go to New York and to track down Aaron Keener.
Yeah, Aaron is a familiar foe from the previous game, right?
Yeah. Yes, indeed, he is. Has been in the background. We haven't explored that much in the Division 1. He was a threat. The Division 2 was slightly different in terms of stakes, but now you have to go back there. In Episode 3 that will be released February 12th, you'll have the opportunity to know a bit more about his ambitions. So this is the prologue of the expansion that will be released March 3rd. And then, yes, he's not alone. That's a big surprise as well. He managed to convince other rogue agents to join his cause, and he's been using them to kill and eliminate, basically, all the other agents of the division.
So yeah, as you mentioned, we're returning to New York, but it's not one of the previous maps that we had access to. This is kind of a whole new area. This is southern Manhattan, right?
Yes, indeed. 4 different name zones with different theming to push exploration using landmarks and iconic locations, of course, because it's New York.
Of course.
So authenticity, but also original aspect of it. We wanted to have a good mix of location, all making sure also players have fun. We always like to inspire ourselves through reality, real events, real landmarks, but we also really like to transform them, indeed, and this is what we've been doing. So Wall Street is going to be one of the main missions. The Rikers have turned the area into their compound, but also we've been inspired by other locations in real life. There is an underground park called Low Line in real life, and we've been inspired with that, where you're going to have to go and track another rogue agent there. The mission that you play today, the Tombs as well, and even an oil stranded tanker, which is going to be, I think, a really good surprise for the players.
So you did mention the Rikers. That was one of the factions in the first game. They're not the only ones returning, though, right?
No, it's not the only faction. We are bringing back the cleaners, the former sanitation workers that have one idea in mind. Is
burn it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically that. Yeah. I mean, they had some good thoughts at the beginning. It's not necessarily the best manner to do that, I would say, but that's definitely something we wanted also to bring back with improvements as well. So yeah, it's the iconic faction from the Division 1, and yeah, we're happy.
So going back to Aaron, so his lieutenants, there's 4 lieutenants that we saw that are revealed. They also have some gameplay elements that are kind of tied to them as well. So the guy that we took out in the footage that you'll see had a new skill that players have never seen.
Yeah.
So can you talk us through a little bit of that and kind of how you guys decided that these would be kind of a surprise that you spring on the player?
Yes, indeed. What you play today is the Tombs mission. The whole thread basically is about Theo Parnell, which is one of the rogue agents. He's a drone expert and he has some hacking skills. This is why you had to beat many drones during the mission, but also what we wanted to integrate is also a new skill for the players to be able to grab, as Jesper said in the presentation, grab after you defeated him. So indeed what was interesting for us is to make players learn the mechanic of the skill that the rogue agent has and make sure he can defeat him and use that after. So it's a brand new skills that we are bringing for the expansion Warlords of New York, and all of the other rogue agents are going to have new skills as well, because we wanted the experience to be fresh.
Yeah, I mean, having never seen that skill and then had it sprung on you and have to figure out how to adapt to it, it was a challenge for sure.
Were you surprised?
Was surprised, and my partner and I overextended and ended up wiping, so we had to try it again. So one of the other things that I think, if there is another character for the Division, it's got to be kind of the dynamic world. And you guys have introduced a whole weather system that is apparently dynamic. During our playthrough, which I guess didn't happen for other people, we had a huge storm come through.
Yeah.
So while we're dealing with this drone, or this drone expert that's making decoys of himself, suddenly this sandstorm comes through and we can't see anything. I mean, you can't see like 4 feet in front of your face. So that was pretty cool. How else are you guys using weather as kind of part of the narrative? Have you guys done that, or is that all just completely dynamic?
It's completely dynamic. I'm really happy that you mentioned that, because
Happy accident.
Our team is really keen on improving the weather and the dynamic of the weather, because this is what brings authenticity and realism and push the emotion as well, such as in real life. So yeah, that was maybe an unfortunate timing for your mission, but sometimes it's really interesting to see, because you're not going to play the mission in the same way as you did before because of these effects. And
sure.
And the storm was one of the weather effects we bring. And we have at heart to make sure all of these elements combine to each other, make the experience special and unique.
Yeah, we had to actually run that mission twice. The first time we encountered that sandstorm, and it was just completely impossible to snipe.
Yeah.
So suddenly, I'm a sniper, he's a sniper, my partner's a sniper, and suddenly we're like, okay, I guess it's sidearms now.
Yeah.
So we had to completely change our tactics.
But the enemies react to that as well.
Absolutely.
This is what is interesting, is that you are both the faction, the rogue agent, and you as a player in the same situation. You are struggling against the elements, and this is what makes it interesting.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be really cool.
Yeah.
So we mentioned there's four agents that you'll be dealing with, prosecuting, killing, whatever you want to put it, to try and take out Aaron. Can you talk a little bit about some of the other ones, or can you talk about those yet?
No, I think I can tell you their names.
Okay.
You're going to have James Dragov, Javier Kajika, Vivian Conley, and Theo Parnell that you tracked down today. All of these have their own background stories. So the collectibles, the cutscenes, all of these narrative elements will help you to understand why they ended up joining Keener and helping him. And we really wanted to make sure people understand that they are not necessarily on the right side as agents of the Division, and that being a rogue agent and being through all of this first wave struggle at the beginning, being left alone, abandoned by the authorities, was something that pushed them eventually to change their mindset. So this is also something we wanted to explore for this expansion.
Yeah, I like that. When I was tracking down the lieutenant that we were tracking today, one of the things that he kept kind of needling you with is, are you sure that the Division's as pure as you think it is? And do you think that you can't be hacked the same way other people can? He's kind of getting in your head, and it made the characters feel more alive. It made them feel less like, here's a guy that just has a 12,000 health that I need to shoot like a bullet sponge. Yeah. So good job on that.
Thank you. Yes, indeed, this is something we wanted to push, the personalities of these agents, and making sure, because we are bringing characters from Division 1, Feilau, Benitez, Rhodes, and we are giving them importance in the world, in the expansion, but also this track for other rogue agent was important for us to reach your ultimate target, Iron Killer.
Fantastic. I want to add one last thing before we close out. Thank you so much for adding the ability to spawn a new agent at level 30. Some of my party was like, hey, I finished the main mission of the Division 2 and I'm done. I'm not going to do anything after that. So they didn't really tackle any of the expansion stuff. So we're not at the same level. So now they can jump right in and tackle the new content without having to go back and kind of grind their way through. So much appreciated on that.
Thank you, definitely. Again, we keep listening to the community's feedback, and it's important for us to have a game that welcomes everyone and that to make the experience accessible. So we worked on this aspect, and we are really trying to give the players the opportunity to play together, no matter their level or their skills.
I guess that does bring up one other thing. So there's a new raid coming,
yes.
And that's exciting. But you could, in the briefing we talked about how you can be either level 30 or level 40. Is that two different skill levels for that, or are you letting us mix and match levels, player levels?
For this specific detail, I'd rather Jesper or Nick to tell you more about that. I can talk about the raid as an environment in
That'd be
itself, great. But if you had deeper questions regarding this subject, I would advise you to ask them directly.
Okay. All right. Can you just go over kind of what the thematic elements of the raid are then? The raid that...
So we are keeping the same puzzle mechanics where as a team you'll have to be really to collaborate and be patient and thoughtful about what you do and how you can tackle these challenges. I don't want to spoil too much on that, but it's going to be tough, and I'm sure I'm going to be watching players tackle this. So yeah, I can't wait to see you play the raid.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chloe. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.